Hello again. Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're having a magical day. My name is Hello Good Game. I'm very much pleased to be your host within this Magic the Gathering Arena deck guide video, playing standard best of one in Mythic rank, showcasing for you today my Mono Black Aggro deck that dominates the Mono Red meta. We climbed from Platinum into Mythic rank number 11 with this build, having an overall win rate of 62%, as well as being able to beat Mono Red 75% of the time. So if you're a little bit frustrated with not only the Mono Red deck, but other aggro decks, we have just the build for you today. We'll be discussing the strategies and synergies in depth, giving you a deeper understanding of how to pilot the deck effectively, and then we'll demonstrate this against the best decks as well as players in-game. Then we'll wrap up with our concluding thoughts, deck review, statistic review of the season, and meta breakdown. Some good banter to wrap up today's video. So don't go anywhere. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Help me hit 50K, and definitely join that community Discord as well. So cheers. Thank you all so much. Let's get into the deck tech.
It's a new lap record!
Ta-da! This is my magic trick. I hope you all enjoy my Mono Black Aggro deck for the January 2024 season. We have 19 creatures, 16 non-creatures, 25 land, because this shuffler has just been wild. I still sometimes, with 25 land, am bricking on 2, and I don't care for it. So we're running 25 lands just to try to circumvent this phenomenon. Whatever, you know. Aside from that, it is very much an aggro-based deck that looks to double our damage output through the Bloodletter of Aclazotz. For 4 mana, a 2/4 with flying. If an opponent would lose life during your turn, they lose twice that much life instead. And, you know, this is incredible. The amount of damage that you can do per turn is fairly outrageous. Furthermore, your opponent is going to be doing their tempo-based calculations. As you know, you're an aggro deck, you're trying to kill them. You know, can they survive? How much time do they have? You know, do they have an extra turn, or is this it? Right? Like, that's kind of the mindset. They won't consider that your damage output is going to be doubled, and then out of left field, here's double damage. We win the game because the output is so high and unexpected. Okay, so that is our main strategy of the game. Is kind of fill out the field, surprise our opponents with the Bloodletter, win the game. Haha, right? Ta-da! So now that you know how to play the deck, how are we going to double our damage output enough to really win the game? And it comes down to the Archfiend of Dross. 4 mana, 6/6, flying, entering with 4 oil counters on it. I've never lost a game by not having oil counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove an oil counter, and if it does not have one, you lose the game. It's never happened. The damage output's just too high. And whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, its controller will lose 2 life. If this is on your turn with the Bloodletter, that 2 damage per creature is doubled. 4 damage per creature in a removal-based deck is kind of crazy. And because you're doing so much damage throughout the game, they're going to be forced to block, right? They can't just take the damage because it's going to be doubled, right? And that you'll win. So, okay, now I have to block, but now I'm losing field stay, and that damage output is still being doubled, which is fairly substantial, right? You know, the one thing that has changed from this version to the last version, aside from, you know, a few totals of removal, is we've dropped 2 copies of the Archfiend. We've included 2 copies of Shieldred. You know, people were speaking so highly of Shieldred in the comments, and I was like, you know what, you don't need it. It hinders the deck. And I kind of got attacked, but you'll see. The deck does operate best with the Archfiend, right? The damage output. You just win this way instead. However, with this being said, you are not always coming into the final turns with the upper hand. Sometimes your opponent is winning that tempo-based race, and you're down on life, and you just need to survive. The Archfiend only plays for the win. You know, it can block. It's a nice booty against, you know, any aggro deck, a 6/6. Shoulder's pretty decent too, though, as a 4/5, no flying, but still pretty good. Sometimes you just need the life gain. So if you're behind in the match, Shielded is better to play to help you get the win, to give you the extra turn. But if you're winning the match and it's like Shielded or the Arcfiend, it's Arcfiend 10 times out of 10, right? It just applies more pressure than Shielded does, but doesn't really help you survive in the same fashion. So, that's kind of my thoughts on that. The rest of the deck is basically the same. We have removed a single copy of Cutdown, a single copy of the Raid, a single copy of the Underdog. We're up to 4 Bitter Triumphs now, and we've included 2 Phyrexian Flesh Gorgers within the list as well. All right. Aside from that, it's building the field state, right? Turn 1 Sleeper, turn 1 Raid. Ideally, the Sleeper, if it's both, the Sleeper gets priority, get that Summoning Sickness off of it. We'll get the Raid in play later. It's also nice because it's kind of like surprise damage. So the Sleeper, a 1/1 for 1, pay 1, it becomes a 2/2. Pay 2 after it's a 2/2, it becomes a 3/3 with Death Touch. Pay 3, put a +1/+1 counter on it, lose 1 life, draw a card. So this is what makes the card so nice, is that it is a mana sink, and not only can it enter play early to help you curve out effectively, but you can also, at any point in the game, dump spare mana, right, into the mana sink, as well as it having Death Touch, which forces the block, now triggering the Arcfiend, as well as that draw. So very, very good all the way around. The Raid, for the first 2 triggers, do 1 damage, gain 1 life. This is really nice if we're doubling that. And then finally, it's a 2/2 with Menace, and that is a keyword that we're focused on within the deck is Menace, utilizing that with the Flesh Gorger as well, right? So our opponent will need to supply 2 blockers to deal with them, at which point we can use instant speed removal to deal with one of their blockers. Now they don't have enough damage output to clear the block, and you get free removal, right? So that's the idea there. Bitter Triumph, destroying creature or planeswalker, which is phenomenal for 2 at instant speed. You can pay 3 life for this or discard a card. We will be discarding our Tenacious Underdog. Liliana, also with the +1 ability, each player discards a card. We will be discarding our Tenacious Underdog, retaining value, still being able to cast it from our grave via the Blitz for 4, paying 2 life. When it dies, draw a card. So this card advantage through the draw is very nice alongside the Evolved Sleeper, right? The Gorger has ward, pay life equal to its power. It's a 3/3 for 3 or a 7/5 for 7. This is nice as you can play it early game for 3, survive the aggro onslaught, as well as, maybe it dies, but we can bring it back later like we do all our creatures with the Virtue of Persistence. More on that later. Other 3-drops within the deck will be the Graveyard Trespasser, a 3/3 with ward, discard a card, forcing a 2-for-1 typically, unless there is creative-based removal, sacrifice creature, or, just like a field wipe. Furthermore, when it enters and attacks, you get to exile a card from a graveyard. If it was a creature, deal 1 damage to your opponent, each opponent, and you'll gain 1 life. Daybound and Nightbound will be 2 cards, which, you can double that damage output if there is creatures. Keep in mind, we do want to hopefully bring creatures back from the grave, but again, damage is our ultimate goal. Our final 3-drop will be Liliana. We've talked about that +1 ability. 3 mana, 3 starting loyalty. -2, target player sacrifices a creature, and -6, separate all permanents target player controls into 2 piles, and then they will choose to sacrifice one of the piles. Fairly good. It's going to win you any match. So, Lily comes out typically as a removal spell. An immediate -2 grabs value, and then +1, +1, +1. Hopefully you can get another minus, at which point she has generated a massive amount of value, right? More removal through the cut down at instant speed, 1 mana creature with total power and toughness 5 or less, as well as our Locthwain Scorn for 2 mana as the adventure sorcery speed. Target creature gets -3/-3 until the end of turn. You gain 2 life. So very nice removal within deck if you want to think about Liliana as removal as well. And then we've talked about the Dross, right? It's a massive attacker that gets doubled from 6 to 12. Any other creatures that die will also, be doubled from 2 damage of your opponents to 4. The doubling of that damage output through the Bloodletter, not only of the Dross, but also through the Flesh Gorger, right? Through the Underdog and the Sleeper that are already in play, is very nice and should win you most games. Again, if you're playing from behind, then you can use Shieldred. Okay, so all of these creatures are basically must removes, which is nice because it keeps your opponent busy turn after turn. As you continue to apply more pressure, they're forced into the corner. I have to remove. And then, you do curve out eventually throughout this process to 7 mana. You play the Virtue, and at the beginning of your upkeep, put a creature card from any graveyard into the battle under your control. And again, typically, it's probably a Bloodletter to double your damage output for the turn, right? So that's the deck. I hope you have a deeper understanding of how to pilot it effectively. In some matches, you can pay 3 life because it doesn't matter, right? Other matches, you really need to manage your life total, and it is a race against your opponent. So sometimes you discard, other times you can feel free to pay life. Of course, the discard isn't bad because we can draw through the Sleeper. We can draw through the Underdog, right? We can gain more advantage by having these creatures come back from the graveyard, right? So it's not terrible to discard, as well as hopefully playing cards from the grave. Cheers. There is the Foundry in deck. There is the Murex in deck. There is the Mire in deck for our utility lands and the 22 swamps to make sure that we can consistently curve out and not get stuck on our lands, right? Because, having an extra land's not the end of the world. What is the end of the world is getting stuck on 2, getting stuck on 3 for multiple turns and letting your opponent curve out. So we want to make sure that we do mitigate that chance as much as we can. And I think 25 is the magic number, at least for me currently. So that's the deck tech. I hope, we did cover everything. If, I can change anything for you within the process that we do this, hit me up. I've been trying to maybe sort these cards into their specific categories while we do talk about them. So you understand a little bit more. I'm quite a visual person as well, so it could be a good thing. Let me know. I don't know, always trying to improve, right? We have some great gameplay today against literally the best players in game. So that's great, as well as, one of the best decks I feel in game as well. After today's gameplay footage, we're going to come back and talk about my untapped profile. How do you gain access to it? And of course, we're going to go through my profile for the season for this deck, reveal the win rate, go through the metagame breakdown and a little bit more than our typical videos do, as it is a serious deck that deserves a serious breakdown. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let's play some Magic, dude. Going first with questionable land. Can we pull our 3rd? It's not so bad on turn 2, but turn 3 can get a little weird. Oh, yeah? Nice land. Nice land. Let's Buffadelphia. Buffadelphia. Hit for 2. Mono green deck. Oh my gosh. Is this a free win? My first win of the day? No, I don't know. It's been a pretty aggressive meta recently. Let's just push up. I'm gonna toss my land. Definitely regret that later. Hit for 2. I doubt they have haste. Let's save Lily for something that we can't cut down. Like if they have protection, then we could take it out. Force another discard. We do lose our Lily. That's fine. Looks like 1 will be enough to beat a mono green deck. Unless they have an oddity. But she's at 5. It's good enough for me. All right, let's swing in. They also, of course, need their 4th land too, right? So, A, Lily survives if they do get it, and, you know, B, they might not even get it, right? So, a toxic deck? Say what? So this is nice to have removal without really needing to target it. Allows us to also keep our Triumph in hand. There's nothing they can do. Oh. Oh, yeah? I mean, I guess there's something they could do. I've got a little something of my own, though. We get a couple counters here. That's fine. We hit for 3 to 10. Taking this march is really nice, so there's hopefully no other additional copies of the priest in hand. Because it doesn't matter what color deck you are. If you get this toxic mechanic rolling, there is no stopping you. Let's grab it from the grave. Take them to 9. We go up to 18. Our life total, I think, is probably irrelevant in a toxic matchup. Let's remove the creature. Free of charge. The +1 would have been good here as well, but, you know, I mean, I think we're fairly insulated from anything, and I'd rather take lethal sooner than later. All right, this helps the clock if we remove it into 2 instead of what could potentially be 3. Ooh. Ooh. Uh-oh. Force the discard here as well. So still getting some additional value. Oh, they're going to grab some life. Fine. Fine. 6/6 blocker. Literally dominates on other aggro decks. It's good. It's good. Mono white can take it with Brutal Cathar, but then you just take their Cathar and grab back with reset oil counters, which is nice. Going first to 3 land. Let's see if we can get it. Removal's up. Is this a soldier? Or a control? Or a token? I mean, that's Azori's so versatile currently. I mean, if you're going to counterspell, that's fine. Let's swing first. See what we can pull. It's definitely a control deck. So I'm going to try to grab a Lily, I guess. Spread the value between creature and non-creature. There's that counterspell. Gross. Disgusting. Okay, 5 lands, ergo. And it's a janked out deck. We have to kill Urza. I'm going to pay life. And take Urza from the grave. It's a high priority card. Very, very strong if left alone. We also get, you know, the damage and the life gain. Hit for 3. You can block. That's fine. Six land out. I'm going to swing. I'm going to keep Bloodletter, play Shouldered first. Take the engine. We should maybe leave the engine for once Bloodletter's there, but I don't know what they're doing over there. So let's just take it. They will block eventually. That time is now. Shouldered is a go. 2 damage from the draw. Field wipe. Ooh. Okay. Okay. -5. -5. Uh-oh. 4 cards after the draw. Can we get some clean swings? We don't need many. It is a control deck, though. All right, again, you know, let's probe. Brittle did. Oh, Lord have mercy. They just don't stop. These 4 drops. Wow. Shuffler. I mean, we need them, though, because they're getting removed, right? So. Are you going to play your Teferi, dude? You wouldn't. Bruh. You gotta stop it. Stop it. Not impressed. We need our 7th land to start pulling from the grave, I guess. Are you kidding me? You're a legend. That's impressive. I don't want to take away from anyone's accomplishments, because that's, like, gotta be a good feeling on their end, right? Holy Toledos. I wonder if they have an answer for it. An immediate get lost? Most likely. A 3rd Mightstone. Interesting. Draw Delphia. We should probably swing on Karn. We can't let them have a -7. That's ridiculous. Losing tempo, though. Like, oh, this does not feel good. If we get a win here, I'm impressed. We're at such a disadvantage, it's not even funny. What? Oh, wow. That is not bad. Bouncing the Mightstone. Or flickering, if you will. Okay. 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 I see you. Nice. Hashtag not bad. Pretty good. I'm back. Land out. Let's try to grab a draw. Again, continue to punish this Planeswalker. I think we get it. We have a long hill to climb. Okay. Our 200th land off the top. Don't appreciate. Do not appreciate, bro. Okay. Graveyard, Arcfiend. Let's see what we get. Big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies. Oh, I meant to pull the Bloodletter. Or was that not in there? It was. I may take my shoulder back on the turn as well, just so they can't take it with the portal, which they do have access to. Oh, and they will take... Alright, so they're going to take shoulder without a doubt. Draw card. Gain 2 life to 12. Oh, man, that make disappear was so good. No way it works. Are you kidding me? Your third ossification? Honestly, I'm impressed. Do you have the draw in hand too? No, okay. If only. We just want to take the confirmed draw. I feel like we do. I don't care about the damage. I'd like the draw. A removal spell, please. Okay. The moment they choose, we nuke shielded. Oh. Interesting. 2 damage. Three cards in hand. They take a draw to 4. I mean, we might have it, but somehow I still doubt it. This is a Magic Arena we're playing. Life gain, baby. Okay. Okay, and a blocker. A blocker, of course, a blocker. That's always nice. More exile of the artifacts. That exiles itself. Life gain on nothing. There's no haste here, but next turn. Okay. We grab the Bloodletter. And we swang on him, homie. I'll let... You didn't want your 10th land, dude? Push up. Draw. Draw. Come on. Ah, 3 drop. Sick. We swang in, homie. Probably right into a Wandering Emperor. There's a block. There's a block. That is 8 damage. Well, no, the exile itself. Dodging the death trigger. Not bad. Only 4 damage. Still good. Not great, but it's good. It's all right. Down to 6. We've got a long way to go, but... Oh, man. They need to bring back this. I need to take that away from them. Because they could be bouncing this portal. And that would be disgusting. Which I think they just missed out on. Maybe. Uh-oh. Don't even think about those things, HGG. Let's just hope they don't get a flyer or any removal. Shieldred's good. They got tunnel visions through Shieldred. They're going to kill the Bloodletter, but we just bring it back. We don't care. 2 cards in hand. plus the Discover. Interesting. They hit for 3 to 9. Not a problem. They have the interruption of the Sleeper as well. Negate into hand, portal into hand, negate into hand. That's fine. Alright, first, let's grab what should be this, but... will flying also just give us lethal? We could take the Steel Seraph and win. I think we win either way. They say we do. It's a decision for us, though. Like, this was a long match back and forth. We want to make sure that we do make the right one. But our opponent says it does not matter. Good game. All right. I think we can keep this. Hopefully we find our fourth. All right. 1, 2, 3. Looking fairly acceptable. Uh-oh. Soul Guide Lantern. I know that emergent deck is annoying, isn't it? A lot of graveyard interaction currently. Let's get our swing on. Swing for 2. Most likely removal, right? Let's try to bait that out. We don't find it. Fortify our field state. And this is like... You know, maybe single target removal could be better. Well, not single, like the Bitter Triumph, right? Like a confirmed removal. But it's always nice to have Virtue in cases like an aggro deck, right? Because that life gain goes a long ways against a mono red build. Oh, that's a lot of landed! Yeah, I mean, I kind of just... Oh! I think the Shuffler is working as intended. Yep. I mean, they have to remove it. Good game, homie. That's big damage incoming. All right, going first. 2, 3, 4 is here. Looks good. Let's see if we can make it through. Hello. Hello. Good game. Good game. We find 4. Oh my gosh. Human deck. Removal active. Ooh, Boros Convocadelphia. Hashtag not a fan. Nice removal, though. Looking for another 2-drop off the top, if we can find it. If not, I might just throw in the Dross and Bully. Oh, Adeline with no attacker? That screams Arcfiend to me. Let's toss a land. Hopefully they don't have a Brutal Cathar. Or any form of removal, really. Because this is a nice block. We have removal with a Lily Minus potentially as well if they double drop on us. Oh! Murder! Lily's gone. Goodbye. They don't attack Liliana? You are wild! Who raised you? My goodness. You've gone wild. I'm leaving Lily at 1. I need the removal in case it is a secondary Brutal Cathar. And why wouldn't it be? Do you understand what game you're playing? Four cards in hand. 4 available mana. Don't shoot there. Uh-oh. That's why you only want to run 1 legendary land. Oh, a good follow-up, though. If you're going to ever redeem yourself, that's how you do it. Dude, what's mine say? Says nice way to keep that in your hand, HG. What's mine say? We do have a really nice block, though, here, right? So, taking some damage, but it's only 3. That's fine. You got a plan for it, right? Yeah. Not impressed. But I'm also not discarding my Bloodletter. You're Athalia. I mean, what else do you do while you wait? A little dance. Going for it. I might keep Lily up. Take the damage. I mean, we gain half of the damage back. Plus, we're dealing, you know, almost that much of our own. More damage than they dealt, right? We did 4, they did 3. Yeah. That's good tempo. You have a Knight of Eos? You would. Double draw. Nice. Such a good card. All right, let's close this out. We've got easy lethal here. They're like, oh no, oh no, oh no, what have I done? What have I done? The damage output on this is ridiculous. Like, you cannot plan for it. Well, you will need to, because more people are going to be playing the deck, but it's like a mass. Like, people, they're like, okay, there's 9 damage, you know, maybe I take 2 more to 11. It's like, no, not even close, dude. Going first, keeping 7 land looks fine. It's not the land or the... Well, sometimes it is. I shouldn't say that. I'm just like living on faith today. It's like on the whim of the shuffler. I think it's... I mean, you know, it's 2 land, 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop. All we need is a 3rd land. It's a good hand to keep, other than the fact it only has 2 land. But 2 land with a 1/2 is not a 2 land hand with no 1/2, right? So, you know, there is a distinction to be had. We're going to play our creature and just hit for 1. We are Curvadelphiaing. Removal here, hitting for 5? Decent. Right, now that is a turn, or a 4-turn clock. Removal at the ready as well, which we assume we will need. Continue in. Oh, we get it. Hit for an additional 5 to 9. This is a top 10 player. Best in the world. Not only did they get there, but they are continuing to grind up. Blossoming Tortoise, pulling another land. Can we get our 4th land, please, so I can push up the sleeper? Big money, no whammies. Paying life. Pushing up. Hitting for 6, down to 3. Trespasser can take 1. Okay, that's fine. Not just more land. They have removal, no way. And it's life gain removal. I hate this game. We blitz in. They take the block, we get a draw, down to 2. There's nothing for them to gain life from. We have the Trespasser down to 1. Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. They could bring it back with like a black return from grave card, but I think we just get it. It comes back as a land. 3 cards in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 available mana. Could go Virtue and die. They do need to defend. I don't think they can activate this for some time. Only if a player has 1 or fewer cards in hand. So they need to not have these cards in hand. If a player, yeah, it doesn't matter which. Lily's gone. I don't like that. I think they should have kept that. Oh, a secondary blocker is good though, right? Yeah. So I'll take the tortoise. Down to 1. We keep, well, a player, and they're already going to be down to 1. Okay, so they're going to bring that bat back, which means I probably want the menace attacker. But we win on the attack, though, unless they can give it haste somehow, which that's not going to happen, because this still costs a substantial amount of mana. It's intapped. Good game. Oh, look at the rank we gained from that. Beating a top 10 player cuts our rank almost in half. Wow. You go first. Thank you. 2 and 3 is lit. We have removal along the way. Which, I mean, I don't know if it's been addressed yet, but Bitter Triumph is gas. This costs 3, so we'll just play into it. Grab it next turn if we so choose. I mean, we may as well. It's going to take our virtue from us. Unless they play something for us, you know. We'll see. Ooh. That's a good removal spell for a very bad creature. I will let them, because I don't think they'll get it. I think they'll pay for mana and I take it on the stack. I don't think they get it in my hand. Because it doesn't actually transform because it's dead, dude. But they did spend their mana on it now. So, you know, it's kind of a nice little play line there. Super duper punishable. And, well, let's take some damage here. Exiling it from the grave. Sleeper is a go. Oh, they have a virtue? Go for the throw. That's fine. Forcing the discard. It's a land, whatever. If we can curve to 7, that's ideal. Uh-oh. So, we can't cast it. Let's just take the draw. Swing for 4. Continuing to look for land. We have nice removal. A few creatures. You know, more would be better, but... Ah, yes, okay. Good card. Ooh. Double down on it. Or use our 1 good removal. I'm going to double down. Maybe we don't need to. We should actually do this anyways. And then just clean it up. You know, maybe they want to block with it. I don't know. That's a lot of land. They might beat us to 7. 4 or 5. They have 7. They've beaten you. Yes. Okay, they're going to grab Urborg, take our Underdoogie, which I find quite insulting. They didn't really gain anything from it, just a +1 counter. Let's swing in. Push up. Do we let them have this and just race at this point? Like, I don't care about your scavenger. No, let's fortify our field state. As a bare minimum, hold up removal. It's responsible. If not, we'll dump it into the sleeper. It's better to have and not need. Especially if you have, you know, like a mana sink, something to dump that mana in. Because you never know when they play shield or jet. Yeah, I'm going to pay life here. Just take it. Spot remove. Goodbye. Go for it. I mean, the +1 is good. It's a good hit, good hit, good hit. Oh. Oh. Yeah. It's an easy block for them, right? I think we're just defending. Right? And then hopefully next turn just strike for lethal. Never mind. LOL. Back tapped, don't care. They need to defend. They do. No removal off the top. Dang it, Randy. So we're hitting for 4. Eight. Hashtag not enough. Well, I mean, sometimes you just gotta try your best. The graveyard's irrelevant for the most part. I mean, they're gonna take this, and then it's just a hard, you know, like a trespasser. So let's get down to get down. 11, we'd be taking. Well, they're forced into blocking here, so we wouldn't be taking as much. Maybe 9 we take. Life gain remains. They go to 6. We can hit for lethal. They can no longer blitz. They're down to 2. That land needs to defend. But we have flyer. I think, like, they need to defend too, though, right? Like, if they attack, we get lethal. I wonder if they do. Well, no, their land could block our land. So they maybe could attack. No attack. Removal off the top. No. Yeah. Again, they can't blitz. They can't attack unless they find removal. But now with that second virtue, we should be good to go. Curtains irrelevant. Dead hand. So I just take a Graveyard Trespasser and win. They identify that this is a problem. They find removal off the top. Wow. That is crazy good. No way. That gives them the win. No way. Basically. We can hit for 2. Down to 4. Lets them blitz again. We need the life gain. We also need to hold up that land to block. Oh. Oh, what a top deck, homie. Land. They blitz to 2. With the land. Our land meets their land. That's fine. And we can might once we declare the block. Don't you dare. Cut down off the top, right? Brutal. Down to 1. They go up to 4. No blocks. Sorry, they would have 6. I believe... Oh, they get the blocker. Wow. So we need the Bloodletter for lethal. Good game. Wow. What a close match. Holy Toledos. I can't believe they almost got that. Dang. All right, opponent goes first. Maybe we curve out. 3rd land, 4th land. You're not a land. All right, let's pass it over. See what they play. Could be higher priority. Removal. It is. But we can take it. And just keep a clean field state, I feel like. Here. Again, we'll pass over and just see what they play. Okay. I'm going to discard a card. Underdog. Can now be blitzed from our grave. So still, you know, retaining access to it. No land! I think a percentage of our soul leaves our body every time we brick in this game. And like, you know, I've only got so much to give. Unlike my opponent, we do get the 3rd land, at least. I mean, at this point, I'm just going to pray for the 4th. And I'll continue to input some damage here. I don't mind. I don't mind. Of course you do. Of course you do. Yeah. Bro. Nice. I mean, a draw engine's definitely not bad. Can I get my 4th land? Is that a thing? Holy Toledos. You can, HGG. You can. And you know what? I'll take your draw engine. Give me it. Give me it! Thank you! Alright. We need... Oh, I was going to say removal off... Well, still, now we definitely need removal off the top. We no longer just kind of want it. We need it. Bro. Oh, you're out of cards? You've played your whole deck, have you? You know what? You are just not the card I need right now. Good game, homie. That was impressive. Yeah. Going first. Don't we always? Hello. Good game. And, of course, good luck to yous. In on 2. I hope it's not a control deck. Consider Adelphia. Oh, it's the token build? Yeah. A great deck. With the Monastery Mentor. The Hadi Jin. We will hit first. Pull any interaction out. See what it is. Could be a Virtue for a block. And I would just let them have it. You're a Fading Hope. Only in the eyes of my parents. You savage, HGG. Yeah. Yeah. Let's take Consider. Right? The draw's a little bit better than the tempo, I think. We can grind out a longer game. Ah! Back with another. We could blitz for card advantage. I don't think that's too bad. Or we just try to hold up some removal. Chart a course. They're going to tap out. They need a land. They've not played a land yet. They discard a land. This is, wow, really going for it. Reconfirming. I think it's the... I'm going to smash in. Chart of course is great. Nice draw. Let's take it. Take our damage. And I'm actually going to just hold up this Bitter Triumph. I think that'll be nice. It's to the point where they're ready to play a creature, right? Or wipe the field. So either way. They might just bring it back from the graveyard. I think that's a sorcery speed spell, though. No. You can discard. That's fine. I know this deck can put out the damage fairly effectively, so let's not overexpose ourselves. And then we're going to take it from the graveyard, because they also bring these creatures back from the grave, right? So again, you know, identify what deck you're playing against and do your best to hinder their game plan, right? Which is amount of instant and sorceries in grave, and it's bringing creatures back from the grave. So let's make sure that our removal hits and doesn't need to, you know, hit multiple times, because we will run out. Here's the Hadi. Woo! Ooh, going for the draw. Like it. Not bad. Just chilling. I mean, the fact that the Djinn also reduces instant and sorceries by 1 should mean it's a legendary. But for some reason, it's like, you could stack it up. Don't worry about it. Fair and balanced, bro. And I like that it's being played now in a variety of decks. Not just the mono blue, which is an amazing deck. That is a cool tempo build currently. But yeah, just non-legendary. An amazing effect within your grave interaction. Do you think they have protection within a slip? I don't know. I'm going to smash and see what they do. Take a slip, reduce the Djinn, right? See where they block. So now it can't kill the Trespasser, which is really, really important to me. And if they cast, we strike. Done should do it. Okay. You might want to take this though too, right? Nah, take the Mentor. 2 damage. We get them down to 2. We're at 19. We should be able to survive, and they don't want to overswing as well as they'll need to defend. Recommission. Oh, and this is what I was talking about, right? Turn a course. Can they immediately pop off? I think the Dross might save us if they can't find interaction. And we've already seen 3 of those spells. The Hope, the 2 slips. Maybe it's just the 1 slip? 2 slips. Holy, look at that field building up. Is that your 4th chart of course? Whoa, it is. 1 in exile, 3 in the grave. Dude, what's mine say? And they hit 4 lethal. Nice. That's actually pretty impressive, right? Really close game. I can't believe they got 4 charter courses. That's impressive. Okily dokily. Mono Black Aggro is incredibly consistent, and it takes advantage of an early aggro-based meta. A lot of individuals are looking to climb the rank as quickly as possible. This means a lot of mono red, a lot of mono white. We take advantage of those decks as best as we can. More on this as we look at the stats in a moment. But we also are fairly competitive and quick enough to take down some of the other builds, the Domain and the Esper Control, right? So position fairly well in the meta. We'll look at my Untapped profile, which you can all gain access to. Really easy. Just support the channel on YouTube, on Twitch, on Patreon. Then link your Discord with said account, which will unlock in my personal Discord, the VIP chat, in which we have a pinned post taking you directly to my Untapped profile. You can load this up anytime you want, right? Seeing what deck I'm playing in a minute-by-minute basis. You don't have to wait for the YouTube videos. You can see it. So, this season, we have played Mono Black, 62% win rate, climbing into Mythic. We hit Mythic, and then in today's video, we dipped down and then grabbed it all back, which is great. We have a 61% win rate overall. Again, entering at Mythic rank number 11. Fairly successful, I feel, considering I didn't race. I slept. I went and visited family. You know, we did the things. I do like to race sometimes to number 1, but it is a lot of work. So shout outs to anyone who did race and finished in the top 10. That is impressive. In the entire world, pat yourselves on the back. I know the work included within that. So the meta breakdown, 53 matches against Mono Red. That is 25.6% of our total matches. 1/4 against Mono Red. And these are the rest of the decks. Like 30 other decks to break down, right? So again, we are really well positioned with the removal, with the life gain, as well as our own tempo to take down those Mono Red decks. And a 75% win rate against the most played deck is, I think, fairly ridiculous. Very, very competitive. I think that it's a little bit too master, the matchup, But again, prioritize your life gain. And in these matches, you may want to prioritize the playing of your Shieldred as your 4-drop before your Bloodletter, before your Arcfiend. The Arcfiend is still a very successful blocker and does a great job at mitigating the monstrous rage damage output, right? The 6 defense is great. Shieldred's 5 defense is really good for this as well. But make sure that you are prioritizing your life gain. Removing their creatures, if you can, at instant speed while they try to interact with them with a monstrous rage or something, right? And that way that spell has been wasted on a creature, that was going to die, right? So that's my tips for playing against mono red. Mono white is actually a hard matchup for us. Thalia's 4 defense is no joke. Furthermore, Adeline's for toughness or defense is no joke. And Thalia's non-creatures +1 to cast is also fairly annoying in the matchup. Brutal Cathar, also fairly competitive, as well as the Knight to generate that value. So one of our worst matchups and a fairly relevant deck. So that's going to be, the true test of your skill is, not how many mono red decks you can beat up. It's very easy to do. But what can you get your win rate to against the unfavorable matchups, right? Because you definitely need to win as many of those games as possible, so you're not taking away from your nice win rate against, the meta prevalent deck. The soldiers, as well as this new recursion deck, with the mentor, the prowess, it's out and about. We're swinging with it. It's really close matchups. As well as, coming out favorable against the enchantment deck with 60%, which I'm really proud of. That deck is ridiculous, but we're lucky enough to have so much spot removal in a similar way as to mono red, where they're going to interact with the creature. You take that creature out from under them. They're going to put a Machiko on the naturalist and hit you for 200 life gain. You can take that naturalist once that Machiko's been targeted, stuff like this, right? Mono black, we're coming out favorable against the other builds. I think maybe we just have more time under our belt with the mono black deck. 69%. Does it get better than that in the mirror match? Whew, nice. Boros Convoke is a good build. Again, win some, lose some. This is how it's going to be against the other meta decks, and that is a fantastic one. Rakdos, we're cleaning up easily with a 67%. We're just, I think, too quick, and they don't have enough time to generate the value that's needed. And they get a Bonehorn, we take it, right? You're done. Golgari's really hard to beat, a ton of value, and the problem comes down to Glissa. Glissa is so good. I can't stand how good Glissa is. Just the enchantment removal that green offers to the typical removal that black already has is top notch, because that's what black is missing, is enchantment removal, and green has it in spades. Glissa, so really actually hurts our strategy because they have the removal for the key components, the Bloodletter, as well as dealing with the Virtue, which is going to bring all that back, right? So it's a hard matchup to win, right? Like mono white. So how can you beat the mono white decks? How can you beat the Golgari decks? That's going to be what is key. The rest of what we're seeing is so small sample size. Going 7-0 against Gruul, that's no joke. That's maybe something that we should consider. Again, they're trying to interact with their things, with a monstrous rage, with an audacity, whatever it happens to be. They're all over the place. Boom, you're dead. So it's the instant speed removal that really helps us win, as well as being fast enough to race them simultaneously. And then, you get into the mono green and actually having really good success against all the different domain decks for the most part. We're fast enough to race the Sunfall, and a lot of the times, we have an aggressive enough deck to close out after that, which is pretty cool, right? The removal to take the Sunfall token and, still hopefully attack in with a land or something. So, that's the deck. Again, a really decent win rate for you all the way through Platinum, through Diamond, into Mythic, competing against the best. As it's different to get into Mythic in the first days of the season, which we've done here. It took us about 15 hours. We played for another like hour and whatever to make this video here today in Mythic. Getting to Mythic on day 1 and day 2 is not getting to Mythic on day 10. Not getting to Mythic on day 20, and certainly not on the last day. These are very different play pools, as the best players are always consistently moving up away from the rest, right? So to do it at the start, when the others are also doing it, is the hardest time to do it, right? As you're always going to be hitting that wall, which is even noticeable within a platinum 4 to Mythic rank number 1 run, which you just like hit it out and you don't sleep and you know, it's even noticeable if you take 2 or 3 days, which I did here, right? I kind of spaced it out, and each day it did get noticeably easier to win at my current rank where I had left off previous, right? Until we kind of hit that new wall of players that are just have the God draw pre-programmed into the game, right? So a little bit of banter here for you, just kind of about my experience, right? So, you know, it's not just the deck, it's not just the list or the specific matches, but it's, you know, how you're interpreting all of that to come away with it. You know, what are your pros and cons for your deck, because each deck will have them, and try to position yourself to take advantage of the meta, right? So that's what we're doing here today. I hope you enjoyed. Again, you can gain access to my Untapped profile by supporting the channel. Twitch Primes, YouTube memberships, Patreon members as well. Join the community Discord if you need help figuring any of that out. We're always in there. Happy to help, not only with that, but, you know, if you have any deck questions or stuff like that, right? Cheers. I hope you enjoyed. Have an absolute magical day. Happy holidays. And we'll see you soon in the next.